Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Jim, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my Deluxe Pixie Frog setup. So this is it. I've got the Exoterra, I believe it's 36 by 18 by 18 terrarium. You can see my Pixie Frog Seymour just hanging out here. Obviously with this setup I went with the half aquatic, half terrestrial terrarium. And I had a 20-gallon long for him when he was younger, and that was as much of a learning experience for me as anything. And in that tank, I figured out what went wrong and the problems I needed to fix. So I went ahead and addressed them in this setup, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. So one of the big problems I had that I needed to fix was the fact that Pixie frogs really like burrowing into the dirt, and the coconut fiber, I use Eco Earth, tends to stick to their body pretty good. And in the old tank he would jump right from the dirt into the water, which meant that I had dirty water all the time. In this tank I wanted to try and minimize that and mitigate all that cleaning every single week. In the old tank I had a corner filter, which was it looked like a waterfall, and it was terrible because the filter media got clogged so quickly from all the dirt that the water flow would slow, and then the water would get stagnant, and I'd have to clean that thing out almost, I would say, a couple times a week. And it was getting to be a real pain. So I wanted to address that with this tank as well. And this overall design is really meant to minimize the need to clean this thing, and when I do have to clean it, I want to make it really easy to clean. So let me show you what I did. As you can tell, I have the divider obviously from the dirt side to the water side. I just I cut a piece of glass and then I used acrylic as the divider, and you can see it's holding up pretty well, and that's right here. The acrylic is 5 inches high, so there's 5 inches of water on the right side. And over here you can see I did another piece of glass right here, and this is 4 inches high. And the reason I did that is I wanted like a graded transitional piece in between the land and the water where some of that dirt could rub off or escape. So I created this valley of rocks, and then gave it an incline so that as he goes from here to here, some of the dirt will actually rub off and he won't track as much of it into the water. And as you can tell, I've got this piece of driftwood over here too. That protects the edge of the glass for the frog when he climbs over it, and also protects the glass itself. It surprisingly does a really good job of collecting some dirt off of him as well as the rocks. And the other big thing I did was, as you can see, there is dirt in the water side, but I added filter pads as the substrate. I didn't use sand or gravel or anything like that because it's just too hard to keep clean. So I went on to eBay and I bought some filter pad, and I just decided to use that as a substrate. And it works great because it just traps the dirt, and then when it gets too dirty, all I have to do is take out the rocks, I pick up the filter mat, and I just rinse it out and put it right back in, so I don't have to siphon out the water and wipe it all down like I did before. The other thing I did with the filter pad is I treated it with the beneficial bacteria just like you would in a regular filter. So there is beneficial bacteria helping to keep the ammonia and nitrates down on the aquatic side. Additionally, I moved from the corner filter to a canister filter. And over here you can see it. It's I used the Sun filter. It's got a UVB light in there that's going to kill any free-flowing bacteria. It's not going to kill the beneficial bacteria in the biomedia cartridge inside of the filter, nor will it kill the beneficial bacteria living in the substrate. Supposedly the UVB only kills free-flowing bacteria, so if it's floating around in the water, then it's going to die once it goes through the filter, which is great because it helps keep the water really, really clean, which for semi-aquatic animals like pixie frogs and turtles, you really, really need to make sure that the water quality is very, very good and very clean. So the canister filter is working great, but I did make a few modifications. as you can see, this is the output. And because the filter is designed for a fish tank, all the output was geared toward making the water flow come out of the top of the tank. So all I did was added some plastic tubing, and then I have it going down into the water, and I use the suction cups to keep it in place. And then I have the output going behind that rock there. And then the intake, I just use the entire hose over the top, and even though it doesn't look that great, it does a really, really nice job of making sure it captures all the water and cycles it through, as well as some of the bigger dirt particles. So the canister filter is making a world of difference. The lights, this is just a basking bulb on the right. I've got a heat emitter in the back, which is, I use at night sometimes, because this is on a timer, as well as this one, which is just UVB light for this side. And I know pixies don't really need, you know, all the light, but I like it. It looks nice, and it helps keep the temperature nice and warm. As you can tell, Seymour's happy with it. He likes it. He's just chilling and basking right now under the heat. Additionally, I have heat tape right here underneath the tank, and that keeps the substrate, the eco-earth, warm from below. So when he burrows in, he can stay nice and warm. The other thing I did was took a couple pieces of filter, the filter pad, and I buried it inside of the eco-earth, and I treated it with the beneficial bacteria. And the idea is that if I keep the soil moist and he pees on it or poops and it gets buried in, that the beneficial bacteria underneath is going to still live and thrive, but it's going to help decompose and break that down. I still mix the soil all the time, and then I'll replace it out, at least, you know, 20-30% once every couple weeks, but that beneficial bacteria is definitely going to help keep the soil quality good and prevent him from, you know, getting any kind of disease or sickness from fecal matter or whatever that's in the soil itself. So that's the overall deluxe setup. Took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted to do this, but now that it's done, I'm happy, Seymour's happy, and it's great. Plus, that's my dubia colony down there. I like having the food source really close to his cage, because then I don't have to go back and forth. Over here, I just have a leopard gecko. But yeah, this is the deluxe Pixie Frog setup. I hope that you like it and found it valuable. If you have any questions or comments, just please leave them down in the comments section. And good luck with your Pixie Frog or turtle setup.